Okay, in this section of the course, we're going to take a look at JDL Studio. Now, this is a really cool tool that's available on the web from the JHipster team. And what we can do is we can go in and see what's called an ERD, an entity relationship diagram. And it's graphical and we can interact with it. And through our interactions, we can actually generate JDL code, which we can download into our project and recreate the entities. Now, what I've done here is I use the demonstration from JHipster, and JDL Studio also comes up with the same entities as the demonstration file. And what we're going to do is we're going to use JDL Studio to go in and add in some properties, download that, and then we'll regenerate our classes and we'll take a look at the results. Okay, I have JDL Studio up, and if you're with us on the last page, the JHipster documentation actually has a link right to JDL Studio, so you can just click that. I opened up in a new tab, and this is the same schema that we were working with before in the previous module, but now we can visualize it. And over here in the center of the screen, the Apple Magic Mouse will zoom in and zoom out on the entity, and we can also drag this around too, so we can reposition it. And it's a pretty versatile tool, so we can get a lot of stuff going on. You can do some pretty nice modeling with it. I like the way they set this up. For a free web tool, this is actually pretty awesome, so kudos to the JHipster team for creating this. I really like what they did here. And let's take a look at this. I'm going to make a couple minor changes. So employee, so let's go ahead and add a new property for him. Let's say we want to track email, and that's going to be a string. And we can see it automatically added in there. Let's make one more minor change. How about adding country to location? And we can see that the location now has country in it as well. So now what we can do is we can download this, and we can see that downloaded, and I'm going to take a look at that file and put it into our project. Okay, now that JH file wasn't associated with anything, so I took a second to open up Sublime, and I now have that on the screen here. And we can see that this is the file that came down from JHipster or JDL Studio. And we can see that our properties are in there. So what I'm going to do is I just want to change this. I'm going to copy all, and in the Mac I'm doing Command C. Now let's jump over to IntelliJ, and I'm going to find that file, my HR tables. That's it. Control A, and this time I'm doing Command V. So telling us that there's a bunch of changes. Now I'm going to go over to the command line again and run that same command. And OS X, hit the up arrow, bring back your last command. So I'm just going to run that again, and we'll take a look at the results. So we can see that it's going through updating these, and I'm going to say yes to overwrite these. And I could do all here, but I want to see each one. More than I thought. And I just hit Alt to overwrite there. Now it's going through, updating everything, and we can see that it changed 142 files in the index.html file. So let's jog over to IntelliJ. Now we picked up some inversion files, and all this here is for liquid-based changes. So it's added in change logs, and we have a number of new things coming up here. So we generated quite a bit of new code. So I'm going to go with saying that the two tables were not the same. So I can see that we picked up a task here, department. So some of these were not the same. So I thought the two schemas were the same. So that is my mistake on going through this. So I got caught by a little surprise there. But let's take a quick look at the domains. Like here we added the domain. This is the new country code that we added. And it looks like I did make a mistake there with my change because I added in a string country and I didn't look at the model close enough. And there's actually a domain name country. So we can see that the JDL isn't perfect. It did exactly what I asked, but this would definitely cause us problems because now we have two properties, one of a string and one of a data type of country that are conflicting. Okay, so you can see how easy JDL Studio is to use. You can make changes really quick to your domain model, bring it up. You can actually save domain models and use this tool. It's a pretty versatile tool. I really like it a lot. But as you saw, it's not really perfect. You can shoot yourself in the foot with it and make simple mistakes like I did. I almost went back and edited that out, but I wanted you to see that because I made a mistake there adding two country properties to the same class, and that would have been bad. So it is a very versatile tool, but some of the things like making sure that there isn't property conflicts, it's not going to catch those. So you do need to be careful with it. It's a nice tool to use, but it's not perfect. It's not going to catch all the mistakes that you may make. So use with caution. Just be aware of the capabilities or the limitations of the tool when you use it. But when I'm developing JHipster applications, early stages, I really like the Studio tool. It works nicely. It's got some quirks to it, but overall it's a really nice tool to use. And primarily in this module, I wanted you to see the use of the tool, being able to bring that tool, the code that tool generates into our project, and how when we re-import, what JHipster will do and go through all the code generation steps again for us.